Hey everybody, today I'm kind of making a redo video or a additional video to a video I made a while back, which was tips on buying a CDMA phone. And pretty much in that video I talked about activating the CDMA phone, tips on buying it, what to check and stuff like that, and to be cautious when dealing with third-party sellers. And this video is pretty much just going to add on to it, just going to be pretty much the same video with a couple new updates and a couple new tips and stuff. But so to start off, as you can see right there, there's my Samsung SCH i760, which is on the Verizon wireless carrier, which is CDMA, so no SIM cards. And I bought this phone used a while back, and it's been working fine now. So to start off from there, when you're buying a used, refurbished, or new CDMA phone from a third-party seller, the first thing you do want to check is the ESN, or it can also be named MEID or hex. Now, in this particular phone I have here, the Samsung, you see, it doesn't actually say any of those on the ESN number, but it's a large amount of numbers. It can contain letters too, and pretty much when you're activating the phone, if you're talking to a sales rep on the phone, you can tell them numerous numbers and they'll tell you which one's the right one. If you go in the store, of course, they'll pretty much know which number it is and they'll type it in and they can activate it from there. Doing star 228, that will pretty much bring you to their automated activating service, and that will pretty much activate the phone right away. What you'll need there is your 10-digit number that you want to activate the phone on, and the last 4 digits of your social security number on the account holder. And sometimes they will, instead of asking you for the last 4 digits of your social security number, they might ask you for a password or username because you might have made an account before using, I don't know, some sort of service there. But as for me, it's the last 4 digits. But pretty much I don't use star 228 because, or I don't use it directly because when I activate smartphones, I don't have a data plan. And what they'll do is they'll pretty much directly bring me to the sales rep anyways. Of course, I think it's much quicker than dialing 611 and going to a sales rep because they like to use the automated service better than actually contacting you to a sales rep. But so either way you can do that, 611 or star 228. You can go online to the website like perhaps VerizonWireless.com, and you make an account there if you haven't already, and you can check and activate the phone right away online. Pretty much same security questions or information will be needed. You can go to the store. You know, that could be probably the best way because you're meeting in public, and you know they can tell you right away if this phone's stolen, lost, or something's wrong with it. And either way, if it's clean, they'll activate it right their way. Of course, you still need some personal information, account information to activate the phone. So yeah, that's 4 ways so far to activate a CDMA phone. Now, CDMA phones do not use SIM cards, and they're for carriers like Verizon Wireless, Sprint, and Metro PCS. And there are, of course, a lot of other CDMA carriers out there in the US, but I can't name them all, and I don't know them all as I don't have much in my area. And GSM carriers do use SIM cards, which are Singular, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Of course, there are also a lot of other GSM carriers out there, which I can't name them all. And I guess more easier when you're traveling and stuff because you can just take a SIM out, pop it in, pop it out, you know, change your service anytime, numbers, all that. Other CDMAs, you got to go through, you know, people and stuff. But yeah, so that's what I have to say for CDMA carriers and GSM carriers. If anything else pops up in my mind, I'll let you guys know about that. If you want to correct me on anything or let me know about anything, please feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to hear from you. And so moving on about actually buying the phone. So the phone could be new, used, or refurbished. And the thing about buying from a third-party seller is that you have to be cautious of what the person is selling. It could be bad, it could be good, it could be okay. Now, when I bought this phone that you see right there, it was pretty good. Although the seller did keep a couple things away from me. So yeah, I was interrupted there for a little bit. Of course, you guys didn't notice it because I paused the recording. But let's see, I think I left off of buying the phone actually because I was done talking about activating it. So yeah, you always want to check the functionality of the phone. You want to check the main features, all the buttons, cameras, or not the cameras, but the camera, and stuff like that. Of course, the harder things to try out are the ports, like the charging port, because perhaps you're meeting publicly. Not everywhere has a wall socket. You can try the micro SD card slot or a full SD card slot if that phone has that. You can try the headphone ports and stuff like that. Of course, I don't check any of those because I don't find them really important. Of course, the charging port is very important, but unfortunately, that's one hard thing to check. Okay, now I remember what I was talking about when I bought this phone. About the couple things that was hidden from me was the standard battery that came with it was completely dead. It doesn't charge at all. There's a slight black spot on the screen, which is somewhat visible at certain points, but that's not such a big deal. It does have a screen alignment problem, which happens with Samsung phones around this time, I guess, due to their cheap quality for screens, or cheap screens. But yeah, it's 6 minutes and 40 seconds already, so I'm pretty much going to bring this into part 2. I'm going to continue that, so it'll be right after this video. It'll also be a video response.